Welcome back, student. Now, today we'll discuss on cooling and dehumidification. Okay, as the name suggests that in the previous lecture video, we already discussed that there are the other psychometric processes like sensible heating, sensible cooling, uh, dehumidification. So all these processes are already discussed on this previous lecture video. Now, in this lecture video, we'll study on cooling and dehumidification and many more psychometric processes. Okay, and cooling and dehumidification, as the name suggests, that cooling. So obviously, when the air is entered, particular a system in which a cooling coil is there. So obviously, the cooling coil temperature should be low compared to the entering air. So obviously, when the air is contacted with the cooling coil temperature or cooling coil, the temperature should be low. Okay, when the air is exit from this particular channel. So at that particular time, the temperature of the air is be reduced or cooled. Okay, so in this way, actually, we can done that cooling and dehumidification. As you know, that dehumidification basically the process in psychometric process in which the moisture content, the level of moisture content is generally reduced. Okay, that means dehumidified. Okay, the humidification process means adding of moisture in a particular air. Dehumidification means remove of moisture from an air. So in case of cooling and dehumidification, you have to cool and as well as dehumidify the air. Okay, means reduce the moisture content of from a air. So both both the process are done actually simultaneously in the particular psychometric process. Okay, now it is basically used in summer air conditioning, as you know, because in our summer vacation, in our summer sessions, used in summer air conditioning. Okay, used in summer air conditioning to cool and dehumidify the air. And air is passed over a cooling coil. First of all, air is passed through over a cooling coil. Suppose this is the chamber. Okay, in this way, the air is entering that temperature. Driver temperature is TD1, and here it is cooling coil. That temperature is ADP, apparatus dew point temperature. When the air is out from this channel, the temperature is TD2. Okay, this is the driver temperature. So it should be when the obviously driver temperature when the air is enter on a particular channel where the cooling coil are there, and the temperature of the cooling coil is apparatus dew point temperature, that is TADP. And when the air of entry air when the air is contact with the cooling coil, then the exit temperature of the air, that should be TD2, and TD2 obviously is lower than the TD1, obviously, because it is cooled, because of the contact with the cooling coil. Again, one more point, this by this means you can do this the cooling process. Okay, but what is the method to dehumidification? Dehumidification is basically is done the in which way that for the dehumidification process, the air should be in a air, the amount of there are some amount of moisture are there. So when the you have to the when the apparatus dew point temperature, that means the temperature of the cooling coil temperature, that is apparatus dew point temperature, when the air is contact with that, first of all you have to measure that particular when the air is entered, that particular air condition of the dew point temperature. Okay, then you have to select the cooling coil temperature below that particular dew point temperature, so that there are some condensation process takes place, so that there are some part of the moisture is removed from the particular air where the air is entered. So the this is the apparatus dew point temperature. So air is passed over a cooling coil or through a cold water spray. Okay, so this is the apparatus dew point temperature, or you can say the cooling coil temperature, where the air is empty here. When the air is passed through the coil, when the air is contact with this coil, the temperature, or means driver temperature of the exit air, that is TD2. So TD2 obviously less than TD1, TD2 less than TD1. Okay, and TADP means apparatus dew point temperature of the cooling coil. It should be less than TD2, because if it is satisfied this formula, if it is satisfied this condition actually, then it can only possible to formation or to form the condensation of air or to remove the air, to remove the moisture, okay, from the air. So if it is TADP less than TD2, otherwise not. So first of all, you have to reach that conditions, means this condition TADP less than TD2, and you have to know that the when the air is entry on a particular duct system, that you have to first you have to know that the dew point temperature of the entering air. Then you have to select the dew point temperature of a cooling coil, which is basically less than the entering air temperature, entering air dew point temperature. Okay, then it can only possible the condensation process, so that there are some moisture is removed from, so that the dehumidification process is complete. Now in this process, what happens, that dry bulb temperature as well as specific humidity decreases, because a dry bulb temperature, if the dry bulb temperature decreases, that means, sorry, if the dry bulb temperature decreases, that means the temperature reduces. Okay, that means the temperature reduces, that means the cooling process takes place, cooling takes place. Okay, as well as specific humidity decreases. If the specific humidity decreases, then we can only call it as a dehumidification process. So in this process, the dry bulb temperature of the decreases, and as well as specific humidity also decreases. Okay, fine. Now final relative is higher. Final relative humidity is higher only possible when effective surface temperature of the cooling coil, that is TD4, is less than the dew point temperature of the air entering the coil, and effective surface temperature of the particular coil, which is shown in the diagram, that is TADP, means apparatus dew point temperature. Now suppose this is your psychometric chart in which the cooling and dehumidification process shown in this diagram. So when the air is entered through a particular duct on a system, okay, suppose this is your system. Okay. Suppose this is the system. So this is the system in which this is the cooling coil temperature, that is TADP, means T apparatus dew point temperature. And when the air is entered through this point, that temperature is TD1. When the air is exit from this section, that dry bulb temperature is TD2, right? Now what we see, that TD2 is less than TD1. Okay, means TD1 greater than TD2, obviously, and TADP is less than TD2. Okay, that means TD2 greater than TADP. So it should follow. Now in this process, what happens? So when the air is entered through this particular channel, when this this point, that is point 1, so this corresponding dry bulb temperature is TD1, right? Now when the air is entered through this particular channel, and when this pass through a particular cooling coil, this is the cooling coil. Okay, now what happens, that the process shows that it reached that particular point to here. Okay, it reached a particular point to here, that particular point corresponding to temperature, that is dry bulb temperature TD2. Now TD2. So as you know that dry bulb temperature is moved from TD1 to TD2, that means temperature decreases, and similarly the specific humidity also decreases from W1 to W2. Okay, the W1 to W2. Now in this way, you can cooling and dehumidification process is done. But how? Okay, now you have to know that cooling and dehumidification process is done by means of setting the, or by means of set the apparatus dew point temperature of the cooling coil. You have to set the apparatus dew point temperature, which is lower than the entering air dew point temperatures. If it is not, then dehumidification is not possible, because dehumidification only possible when the condensation process takes place, when the entering air is contacted with this apparatus dew point temperature, so that some liquid bubbles are condensations and they are drop out, and some air is passing through this, so that dehumidified as well as cooling process takes place. So in this process, the cooling and dehumidification process takes place. Okay, So if you add if you go to this process also, you can do this 1 to A as well as A to 2. Okay, and apparatus dew point temperatures, that is basically TD4. Okay, TD4, or you can say this is your TD4. So this is the TD4 temperature. Okay, this if you select this temperature, that is TD4. Okay, this temperature is corresponding, if you know the enthalpy value, that is H1 here, this point is HA, this is H2. So in this process also done by 1 to A and A to 2, because this is your the sensible heat part. Okay, and this is the latent heat part. Okay, so this is the sensible heat part and this is the sensible heat part. Okay, so sorry, this is the latent heat part, means total heat removed from this process, sensible heat. So total heat removed for this process, that is basically Q, that is basically H1 minus H2, which is done from the psychometric chart corresponding this point H1, this is the corresponding H2, and this corresponding point, that is HA. Okay, now total heat rejected, that is Q is equal to H1 minus H2. H1 minus H2, that is nothing but H1 is equal to H1 minus HA plus this one, that is basically HA minus H2, HA minus H2. So this one, so that is basically LH plus SH. Okay, and LH basically latent heat due to the condensation of vapor of the reduced moisture content. Okay, to the reduced moisture content, because in this process, in the latent heat, when the latent heat are there, so the divert temperature is constant, but there are some reduces the specific humidity from W1 to W2, but when they reduce the sensible heat, it's only reduce the temperature, divert temperature. That is the total heat removed, that will be LH plus SH. Okay, now you know that sensible heat factor. Now sensible heat factor is the SH divided by total heat, means sensible heat divided by total heat. Now sensible heat for this process, that is basically HA minus H2, okay, divided by total heat, that is sensible heat plus latent heat. If you add this, you can get H1 minus H2. So for the cooling and dehumidification process, sensible heat factor, that will be HA minus H2 divided by H1 minus H2. Okay, now for this process, there are some bypass factor are there, as you know that there are some bypass factor. Okay, bypass factor. Okay, now what is bypass factor for this process? So because so this is the point, and this is the point, this is the 4 point. Okay, this is the 4 point, this is the 4 point. Now for this bypass factor is know that TD2 minus TD4 divided by TD1 minus TD4. TD2 means TD2 minus TD4 divided by TD1 minus TD4. That is the bypass factor, because uh, dehumidification and the cooling process, if it is 100%, because it is not 100% because of its inefficiency of the cooling coil. Okay, if it is 100% efficient, that means there are 100% efficient, and that means the humidification process, means dehumidification process, is done 100%. That is not done due to the inefficiency. That's why the bypass factor is coming to the context. That bypass factor basically the ratio between the TD2 minus TD4. That TD2 basically the exit air divert temperature, and TD4 is the apparatus dew point temperature or divert temperature of the cooling coil. That is the temperature difference. If it is the 2 point, if it is here, that means if it reach up to the particular maximum limit, that is not possible. So only there are some part of the air is contacted with fully with the cooling coil. So that's why there's a gap, that temperature is TD2 minus TD4 divided by the temperature gap between the maximum and minimum, that is TD1 minus TD4. Okay, now TD4, as well as we know that is basically also called apparatus dew point. Okay, apparatus dew point. So that's why TD4, in terms of TD4, you can also write here ADP. So TD2 minus ADP divided by TD1 minus ADP. In terms of that, bypass factor also write as a function of specific humidity or in terms of enthalpy. So bypass factor in terms of bypass factor TD2 corresponding TD2. So this is the TD2. So this is the 2 point corresponding. This is the W2. So this is the W2. and this TD4, this is the TD4 term, this corresponding term W4, okay, and this is the TD1, so TD1, this is the 1 point, this corresponding specific humidity W1, and TD4 corresponding specific humidity W4. So corresponding specific humidity, as well as you can calculate bypass factor in terms of enthalpy also. You can from the psychometric chart or the enthalpy chart, that is basically H2 minus H4 divided by H1 minus H4. So these are the cooling and dehumidification process, and it is done in basically summer air conditioning, because to cool the air as well as dehumidify the air, and there are some apparatus dew point temperature are there, so that the evaporation or condensation process takes place, so that the air is removed from the particular air, so that dehumidification process is complete, okay. And there are some ADP, there are some bypass factor, because there are some value are there are some part of air is there which is not directly contact with the cooling coil. There are some bypasses, there are some amount of air is bypasses through the particular channel, so there are some bypass factor is introduced into the texture. And similarly, sensible heat factor, as you know that sensible heat factor is the ratio between sensible heat divided by total heat. Now total heat, basically there are two types of heat, that is sensible heat and latent heat. So sensible heat factor is the sensitivity divided by sensitivity plus latent heat. So in this process, means in the cooling and dehumidification process, the sensible heating is done by from process A to 2, and latent heat process is done by 1 to A, because in latent heat, the arrival temperature is constant, as you know. In the sensible heat conditions, there are some changes in arrival temperature, but the specific humidity is constant, okay. So this is the total heat removed from the cooling and dehumidification process, that is H1 minus H2. So this is basically H1 minus H2. H1 minus H2 also written as H1 to A plus A to 2, means HA minus H1 divided by HA minus H2. In terms of that, you can write here the total heat removed from the cooling and dehumidification process, that will be LH plus SH, that is latent heat plus sensible heat, okay. So cooling with adiabatic humidification, because humidification process takes place by means of evaporative cooling process or adiabatic. So cooling with adiabatic humidification, okay. So these are the new these are a psychometric process, okay. As you know that cooling and dehumidification also a psychometric process. Similarly, cooling with adiabatic humidification also a psychometric process, in which, as you know that cooling means the air temperature should be cooled, okay. Means the temperature of the air should be cooled, and it's basically, and the humidified means the amount of added of moisture, okay, in the particular air. So that is basically humidifications, and that is done by adiabatic. That's why the process name is cooling, and means cooling with adiabatic humidification. So cooling means the air temperature should be cooled, so that the process name is cooling. And another process is merged with that, that is humidification. Humidification means there is some amount of water vapor is exerted, or you have to push into this particular air, so that it is humidified. That is the amount of water vapor percentage will be increased. That means specific humidity would be increased by means of adiabatically, okay. At that particular time, the process is called cooling with adiabatic humidification, okay. Now suppose this is the arrangement of the cooling with adiabatic humidification, in which the air is entered into this section. The temperature of the driver temperature of this air, that is TD1, and this is the air washer. As you know that air washer, what is air washer? Now air washer, in this air washer system, as you know, this the water is stored into the insulated chamber. First of all, in the insulated chamber, because the process is adiabatic. In the adiabatic process, no heat transfer takes place, so this chamber is basically insulated chamber, okay. Throughout there are some insulation, some insulated materials are there. So insulated material or insulation process, and in this chamber there are some water takes, or the water reserve here, okay. There are some channel or pump, there is a channel or pipe are there, which is basically stored through pump to it go to the spray nozzle, that it can spray the into water bubbles, small water bubbles, small water droplet of water, and the temperature of the liquid water here which is stored, that is basically T1, that is equal to TW1. The temperature of this particular water which is stored in the insulated chamber for the cooling and humidification process, the condition is that that temperature of the spray nozzle water, that temperature that is T1, that should be, that means the temperature that is T1 is greater than TDP1 of entering air. So this is the entering air. There are some dew point temperature for that particular air. So that in this spray nozzle, that temperature is T1. In this T1 should be greater than TDP1. Okay, it should be greater than, so that there are some chances to form some water bubbles, some water vapor, so that it can humidify. Okay, this, for these conditions, it gives you the humidification. If it is not, then the humidification process is not possible with this arrangement. This arrangement should be the temperature of the spray nozzle, the temperature of the water of the small spray water which is through the spray nozzle, the temperature of that is basically greater than the dew point temperature of the entering air. Because as you know that when the air is passed through the spray nozzle, there is some amount of air, there are some water stay up there, okay, and when air is passed through that, there's some air obviously absorb some amount of water or water moisture, okay, so moisture. So there are some humidified, the percentage of humidified, the percentage of water vapor is percentage increase when this pass through this channel. So when the air is passed through this channel, the amount of in the air, they increase the temperature, they increase the specific humidity as well as the moisture content. So in this way you can down your humidification process. But how do you cooling process? The temperature should be low in the spray nozzle compared to the TD1. So TD1 should be greater than T1, means T1 should be less than T1. T1 should be TD1, so that the cooling process takes place. These are the two conditions so that the cooling and adiabatic humidification process takes place. So there are three main important points. It should be insulated chamber so that if the process totally conducted in the adiabatically say fast. Second is that T1 greater than TDP, means TDP1 means dew point temperature, and T1 should be less than the temperature of the TD1, so that the cooling process takes place. So it is for the humidification process the condition, it is for the condition for the cooling process takes place for the adiabatically insulated. So the three conditions should be satisfied so that the total whole process is complete. Okay, so this is the working principle. But if you look into your psychometric chart, this process, so this is the psychometric chart. As you know, these are diagram temperature in the x-axis, and this is the specific humidity line. Now when the air is passed through the particular spray nozzles, and when the spray nozzle, some water spray up there, so there are some percentage of air is directly contacted with the spray nozzles, and there are some percentage of air is bypassed through the spray nozzle. So it, because of the if it is there are some 100% contacted, or if it is give you 100% efficient, then the humidification as well cooling is getting you 100%, but it is not possible because of the inefficiency of the cooling coil. Okay, now if you look into this in your diagram, so this is the one point in which the when the air is empty, is the TD1, the corresponding diurnal temperature TD1, and the corresponding specific humidity W1. Now if you pass through the particular spray nozzles, it will reach up to this point, that is 0.3. Okay, if it is totally connected, means totally contacted with the spray nozzle, that means it reach up to this point. Okay, and this particular point, that will be TD3, that will be equal to TW1. That is not possible because there are some bypass factor, as you know, because there are inefficiency of the cooling coil. Suppose in between 0.1 and 0.3, means 0.1, 0.3, there are some point up there which is basically effective point, which is done in the cooling and adiabatic humidification process. So in this process, so this is the point, as you assume that corresponding point, that is TD2, and that corresponding specific W. So that is that W means specific humidity. So this is the point 1 and this is the point of 2. As you know that this is the divert temperature of TD2. If you assume that if the process goes on from 1 to 3, it should be, the process should be ideal, but that is not possible. So we can assume that in between point 1 to 3 is a constant line. and we assume that point 2 is here, it may be but here, but that is, if it is point, it reach up to that particular point, that means the ideal condition that is not possible. So if that particular cooling and adiabatic humidification process, you know that in a particular cooling coil there is some inefficiency, there are some bypass factors, so that we assume that point 2 is here, so that the cooling and humidification process is done, but there are some inefficiency there, so that the point 2 is here, and the corresponding dival temperature TD2 here, and corresponding specific humidity W2. And so this is the specific humidity. As you know, if you go increasing in the upward direction, the specific humidity increases. If you go from left to right directions, that means the dival temperature increases. Okay. Now here, for this cooling and adiabatic humidification process, what happens? The arrow indicates this point 1 to 2, 2 to 3, means 1 to 3 it may be, or it may be 1 to 2 process. So when the process is 1 to 2, that means the specific humidity increases from W1 to W2. That means it is the amount specific humidity increases. That means the amount of water vapor increases. That means the humidification is done. Again, from 1 to 2, as you know, TD1 is greater than TD2, because TD1 in this process, as you go along these directions in the psychometric chart, in the dival sections, you can see that the dival temperature of the TD1 is greater than TD2. But the process indicates that this direction. That means TD1 comes from TD1 to TD2. That indicates that cooling process takes place. Okay. So this is the cooling and adiabatic humidification process. And one more point is that now this is the wet bulb temperature. As you know, corresponding this point and inclined line indicates the wet bulb temperature. So if you draw the line which is called the enthalpy line, that is basically H1, that is equal to H2, that is equal to H3. So in the cooling and adiabatic humidification process, enthalpy is constant as well as wet bulb temperature also constant. Okay. So one more important point is that efficiency of heating coil, that is basically efficiency of heating coil, that is TD1 minus TD2 divided by TD1 minus TD3. Okay. So TD1 minus TD2 means you can say this is a bypass factor also. TD1 minus TD2 divided by TD1 minus TD3. So this is the actual possible cooling and humidification process, that the effective way, and this is the maximum TD1 minus TD3. Corresponding TD1, TD2, TD3. So this is the cooling and humidification process. In the previous topic, you already studied that cooling and humidification by adiabatically. Now it is cooling and humidification by water injection. It is also sometimes also called evaporative cooling. Okay. Now what happens here, that suppose this is the arrangement for evaporating cooling. Suppose this is the arrangement in which the spray nozzles are there, through which the water is supplied through these spray nozzles, through which the water through spray nozzles, the water's liquid droplet is sprayed through the air which is entering through that arrangement, and that time arrangement of the particular air, that is suppose that dival temperature is TD1. So this is the entering condition of the dival of the air, that is TD1 here. This is the entering condition, is the section channel 1, corresponding dival temperature here TW1, corresponding specific humidity, that is W1. Okay. Now when the air is passed through this, and this is the water by means of this the water injection process. Okay. And the process is same actually, cooling and humidification. As you know, the cooling basically is the temperature of the air should be cooled, and humidification means the amount of water vapor should be added so that the air should be humidified. Okay. So it is done by water injection. So there are some spray nozzles through which the water injected through the air to the air actually, which is one more condition is that the temperature of the air, that is T1, that T1 should be equal to TW1. Okay, that means TD1 equal to TW1. When the air is passed through the particular spray nozzles, the air will be out at the temperature with dival temperature TD2. Okay, this is the TD2 temperatures, and this is the temperature TD2, and this is the process in which the cooling and humidification process is done. Corresponding temperature TD2 and corresponding specific W2, in which, as you know, as you go in the psychometric chart from left to right from the x-axis, you can see that the diverb temperature is basically increases. Okay, what happens here, that the diverb temperature is TD1 here and TD2 is here. Basically, it's a left condition, so TD1 goes to the TD2. That means TD2 is less than the TD1. Okay, that means the entering air means exit air condition is of diverb temperature is less compared to the diverb temperature of the entire air. So the cooling process done. Okay, what happens of humidification? That humidification means amount of water vapor is added through the process, that is humidification process. Now what happens that, as you know from the psychometric chart, these are specific humidity lines. As you go from bottom to top, the specific humidity value is increases. So it is the specific value is W1 to increases from W2. So specific humidity increases from W1 to W2 for this process for cooling and humidification. Okay. Now what happens is that the mass MW is a mass of water supplied through the spray nozzle, that is MW. MA is a mass of dryer which entered to the arrangement, and W is the specific humidity and W is the specific humidity also, but living air. Okay, is W is the enthalpy. This is the enthalpy of the water vapor, of the water actually injected to the air. Now if you go to the mass balance, that mass balance gives you the W2. This is the W2 is equal to W1 plus this difference. This difference indicate W2 minus W1. That is also right in terms of W2 minus W1 here, MW divided by MA. Similarly, if you calculate the heat balance in terms of energy, so that will be H2. So this is the line, enthalpy line. If you see that this is the H1 is equal to H2. Okay, but here H2, this is the H2, this is the H1. Okay, but both are same. But H2 is equal to H1, so corresponding this line H2 and corresponding this enthalpy line H1. So enthalpy H2 is equal to H1 plus this difference. This difference means this one also. That means MW divided by MA into HFW. That is the latent heat of vaporization. Okay, MW by MA, in terms of MW by MA, you can also write here W2 minus W1. That is the difference between the specific humidity into HFW. HFW is your latent heat of evaporation during the cooling and humidification process. So H2 is equal to H1 plus W2 minus W1 into HFW. But the value W2 minus W1 into HFW is basically very less compared to the H1. So basically in this process, in this cooling and humidification process, the enthalpy value also constant and WBT also constant, is cold bulk temperature also constant. So both this term is constant or value is constant through cooling and humidification process, which is basically also called as a evaporative cooling. So cooling and humidification is done by either evaporative cooling or the adiabatically. Okay. So okay, thank you very much for listening and watching me, and thank you.